How's it going? My name is Harrison Burns, Grieving Teens, and today we have another person who's willing to share their story and testimony and experiences within the groups at public high schools in which Tom Morris visited across the Coachella Valley. Would you please start by giving me your name, your age, the school you attended, and the year you graduated, if applicable?
Hello, my name's Michael Wallace. I'm 20 years old. I attended Palm Desert High School and I graduated in 2018.
Hey, Mike, thanks for joining me, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so first off, I want to know how you actually found out about Grieving Teens. So, were you recommended by a counselor, a teacher, a friend, colleague, coworker? How did you find out? Did you go of your own
Uh,
volition, or did somebody recommend you?
my own sister recommended me in the ninth grade. Um, and it's kind of funny. She told me about the group, and I can't remember what class I was having exactly, but all I was kind of thinking was like, all right, I mean, I get to miss like biology or something like that. All right, let's go for it. So yeah, and I attended, but it was definitely it was you know definitely the right decision. So yeah, that's how I found out about it. My sister, she was in it for all 4 years. I was in it all 4 years. So
Okay. So your sister dragged you into this. At least that's what it seems like.
seemingly
But
so.
why did she? That's my next question. Was there something you were going through? What was your pain, your grief, your stressors in your life that you were dealing with? Was there a reason for you going?
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely a lot of reasons. I
Tell
didn't
me
like to
about
think
that.
so. Um, oh, pardon.
Tell me about that.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. It was just uh, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of problems in my life. A lot of things I, you know, wasn't wanting to admit to, um, because I didn't want to be that kid. Um, I wanted to be normal. I wanted to act, I wanted to act like that. Everything was kind of in the spot that I wanted it to be in, and I just thought of it as really embarrassing to, be the kid with the problems. So when I did go into the group, it was definitely a weird feeling. Um, I didn't want to be like one of those people. And my sister was one of those people. And the fact that she was recommending it for me, I don't know, maybe in my subconscious, I thought there's, actually, there's definitely a reason for this and that I should be going. But yeah, I mean, as far as high school goes, I mean, like before ninth grade even started, there was problems. So my dad uh, definitely he had a drug addiction for quite some time, and it was caused on by an injury he had at work, and it was just kind of a descending, downward slope towards complete doom, basically for our family. And already at that time, our mom couldn't take care of us. Our dad had taken care of us for, at the time, 3 years, 3 or 4 years, and uh, it just got to the point where I guess the drugs took over, alcohol took over, and he wasn't able to do what you know what a father should be doing. And my sister and I got separated. She got sent to my grandparents. My dad spoke to Craig at one point, and he asked if he could take care of me, and Craig, you know, did it, and he took me in, and I just didn't know what the hell was going on. For the first year, I just didn't know anything. I was so oblivious to a lot of things. I was so ignorant. I thought I was gonna be moving back in with my dad in no time, and I would contact him, and we'd talk still, and he'd give me false hope. And there'd be a lot of times where Craig would have to talk to me and tell me like, this is not happening. Like, I don't know if you realize this, it's not happening. You're not going back to your dad. Um, and honestly, looking back on it, um, I don't even know why I would want to. But uh, at the time, I was so attached to him that I just didn't want to leave. It was like I just couldn't believe what was happening. Um, and just, I mean, yeah. So I went to the group, and that was the main thing to start. Was like, I don't even know what the hell's going on. Um, like all this stuff's happened. My sister and I, we don't live with each other. And I would explain my story. There would be certain things I wouldn't be feeling comfortable explaining. But explaining to my mom and all that stuff, it was just like it felt good to be in that group because, like you said, like there's no prying. There's like I say one thing, and like if that's what I say, they know. Like I know Tom would look at my face and he would know. Or when Ben was in the group and he would, they would know not to, pry if, that's what it seemed like. And if I wanted to talk more, I wanted to talk more. Everybody in that group, they had it at their own pace. It was just, you want to talk, you want to talk. You want to come, you don't want to come. And that's what made me feel good about it, because it just made it feel ever so more confidential. You know, you go in there and immediately, if there's a new person in the group, then you let them know, like, this is not something you talk about, outside of the group. Everybody should feel comfortable talking here. And I mean, the first impressions were incredible. Um, and throughout high school, my grievances started to evolve in a way. It became more of dealing with living at Craig's house, which, like on the outside of things was really nice. Craig is a very successful guy. Um, and he, to me now, is a good person in my life. But during that time in high school, all throughout high school, it wasn't that. I thought it was a complete opposite of that. And I was dealing with a lot of issues. I never felt like I was, loved. I never felt like I was part of the family entirely. And it was nice to experience a lot of like lavish things, you would say, in life, a lot of carefree things. Craig, being successful and all that stuff. It was kind of just, I never experienced that before. It was kind of like going from, is electricity going to be paid this month? Like, are we going to eat tonight? To, hey, we're going to Newport Beach every weekend to 5-star hotels just to hang out, just cause, to, hey, you need this, like, then let's go get it. Or, hey, I thought like, you need money for school. Here's I put over $1,000 into your food account, like literally, and like I'll blow through it in like a month and a half, and you do it again without questions asked. It was just it was definitely like a different thing to experience the changes and my, I don't know, monetarily, and also just kind of like a hierarchy of a family. I kind of felt like I was at the bottom, but at the same time, I mean, I was there to basically survive it or go through it and just experience, and understand a lot of things. Um, uh, and yeah, I mean, like I was definitely like, I was targeted a lot of the times during high school, because I wasn't his son. So I wouldn't get like the leeway that, my, basically my stepbrother would get. And it was just kind of, it was tough at times, because like I knew my dad, he like basically, treasured me in a way. And to go from that to not feeling appreciated sometimes was tough. And there's a lot of stories. I mean, Connor and I talk about it all the time, because I train him right now. So sometimes we'll like talk about memories. And there was this one time where like Craig shut down our whole summer. He shut down our whole summer completely, and he made us read books the whole time. Like literally, it was like he came in and he was like, the phones are gone, everything's gone. He unplugged everything, and we weren't able to leave the house like at all. Like it was the whole summer where we just like, he just made us read or sleep. He was like, you got two options, read or sleep. And I was like, what is even going on in this house right now? Because I don't know, it's just it was definitely like the way of handling things sometimes wasn't good. It was just like, it was tough, like I felt alone a lot, like very alone. And I didn't know how else to handle it, you know? And I felt like the expectations of me were just like way too high, and it just overwhelmed me. And in turn, I kind of dropped down. And in high school, it was hard finding consistent friends until senior year, basically. I mean, or at least, junior year basically. But, it was like, I didn't really feel welcome until senior year. And, I don't know, I go to the groups to be able to talk about it, and I feel equal, like everybody kind of was on the same playing field, no matter what their problems were, no problems were left unaccounted. I felt in that group, and everybody had a chance to say something if need be, and at times kids, if they weren't able to talk, they're able to stay for the second meeting if they showed up for the first one. And I mean, I had so many problems. Like, it's just like in high school, out of high school, I felt like I couldn't escape it. I feel like I missed a lot. I missed a lot, like in high school as well, like, because I was shut down from doing a lot. Like, I couldn't join track. I couldn't, I wanted to do water polo. I couldn't do water polo. And I feel like due to that, the inability to be involved kind of hurt everything else as well. Like, academically, I didn't care. So I didn't care at all, and everything suffered. And, just the consistent blame was put on me. So it was, it's tough. It was tough. And looking back on it, it was, a lot of tough things, but I think the group was definitely one of the few things I was able to look forward to, because, I realized I wasn't alone. So, I mean, if you have anything else, I mean, I just look back to that time, and it's just like so much. It's like honestly a tornado. Whenever I feel about, look back to it, it feels like a tornado just swept through my mind and just devastated all the memories, and now it's just all mixed up. But yeah, it was, high school was definitely the most polarizing time in my life. One of the most polarizing times, at least.
Well, it seems like you're doing well for yourself now, at least. And
Yeah.
I understand everything you just said, considering I was there for some of it.
Yeah.
So I get when you would share in the group and how things would be said. And I do, I do think that sometimes we come out on top and sometimes we come out on bottom.
Yeah.
But having people around to talk about the things you're going through and not feeling pressured by any teams, like you said in the group, you could share as much as you want and you didn't feel pressure from anybody because of it. And so I think that's one of the best things that Tom has done within the Grieving Teens groups in the public high schools. And I just want to know how, so it affected you personally, professionally. You felt disenfranchised from your family. It was split up. You felt like you were in a new environment where you didn't really belong. You were trying to struggle with a lot of other things. And it almost worsened everything else around you. Would that be accurate to?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand that completely. I really do. I just have a couple questions as to like the group itself. Did being in the group and learning the things that you learned from Tom and how to deal with stresses in your life, did it affect you post high school? Were you able to deal with things in your professional life as an adult the same way that you could when you were attending the groups? Did it give you the tools needed in order to face life head on?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I was able to, definitely on a personal level with a lot of people. It, I think, uh, you know, I picked up on some things after high school as well, but the group, it definitely had me realize that, um, everyone's problems are serious. There's not, um, it doesn't matter, what level of life you come from, sorry. It doesn't matter how privileged you've been, I think. It doesn't matter how unprivileged you are, how hard you have it. I think that, as long as someone feels like it's an issue for them, then they're totally obligated to that. So when I talk to people, uh, you know, in my mind, I think a lot of people want to compare themselves to other people. I feel like it's natural, and it's hard to not do it. So when I would talk to other people, I would kind of think about my own problems and then think about theirs. And I think the group definitely taught me to not do that. And if I were to do that, don't take it seriously, because these people definitely like they are definitely entitled to their issues. They're entitled to how they feel about them. And it helped me talk to them, and it helped me, help people feel like that I was a good person to come to. And more often than not, I feel like I'd be the one mediating certain things, and I'd be the one talking people through things and there'd be many times when I was in LA where I had friend groups out there that came out from Palm Desert and people from LA out there that I met. And sometimes there would be certain things that would happen and it would create drama in a group or something like that. And I feel like I was the one that was kind of called upon to kind of mediate things and or help people understand like what things were possibly wrong or how they went wrong, and kind of just being very neutral about it and not getting too emotional about it, um, and outside of that, it was just kind of it helped me understand that as long as I kind of get to the next day in a sense, then I know I'll be all right. There's times where I'll have really bad days, and kind of going and uh, being able to understand that, like, as long as I get to the next day, then I think I'll be able to do basically anything I need to do. So I don't know. This group. I don't know. It was definitely very impactful. Being able to talk to Tom, kind of, I felt like I tried to understand how he went about talking to kids, because I mean, I could only feel how much pressure it would be sometimes to have all these kids in the room, and I kind of looked to Tom for to understand what how he went about things and how he tackled when kids he maybe got very emotional, and I would look back to it, because I would kind of find myself in that situation too. So the experience I got from this group in terms of mental health is unparalleled to anything, I think. And I'm right
Would
on.
you recommend it to other people if they're dealing with something?
Oh yeah, without a doubt. Yeah. That's why I want to that's why I want I want to get people together, and I want people to talk again. I mean, this group is definitely like the next best thing to therapy, to a private therapy session in a sense, um, I'm not sure, whenever I'll get that opportunity to have, that stereotypical lay on a bed and just kind of like list off your problems to some guy writing in a notebook. But this is definitely like the next best thing, if not the best thing,
Well,
Um,
that's awesome. I just have one more question for you.
mhm.
And it's just, do we have your permission to use your testimony and your story to support grooming teens in a professional capacity?
Oh yeah, without a doubt. Yeah. I mean, I definitely the more people you get out there, I think the more it's gonna help other people kind of come into here and explain their issues as well, and maybe hopefully get the improvement that they need. So by all means, go ahead.
I agree 100%. Well, Mike, I appreciate your honesty and your input and your testimony. Thanks
Yeah,
so much for coming and joining me.
yeah. Thank you for reaching out.